Good morning, everybody. I hope my screen is visible and I'm audible to everybody. Okay, is my screen
Yes,
visible? Okay, okay, yeah. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. We'll take a few questions like we did last time. Yeah. The first question shows you an image where some glasses are empty and some glasses are filled with water. What you have to find is from this set, which are the how many glasses are empty. Sorry, how many glasses will remain empty if you half fill some of the empty glasses from the given set of filled glasses. So there are few filled glasses here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7. So there are 7 of these filled glasses in this whole graphic. What you have to do is you have to empty half of the container, like half of the water from one glass will be taken, will be filled in half of the empty glass. Will fill half of the empty glass. So after that process is done, how many glasses will still remain empty in this set? All right. So try answering this. I already told you that in the whole set, as it is seen, there are 7 empty glasses. Okay. All these 7 empty glasses, the contents of all these 7 empty glasses are half filled in other empty glass. So how many glasses, after that process is done, how many glasses will still be left empty? Okay. Okay. People. Sorry. People who are answering the question, answering this question, I'll ask you one question. How many glasses are there which are, I mean, how many glasses are there in total in this whole graphic? How many glasses are there in total? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24. Somebody's mic is not muted. Can you please mute your mic? Mute yourself. Thank you so much, Meera. So in total, good. There are 24. 1 second. Somebody's mic is still on. Okay. There are total 24 glasses in total. So I'll not able to write here. Okay. Okay. So 24 total. 7 are filled completely. Now, if contents of this are half filled, then I get 14 filled glasses. So 24, which is the total, minus when the contents are half filled, I will get 14 full glasses. So if I subtract this to get subtract 24 minus 14, what I get is 10 empty glasses once the contents of the full glasses are half filled in the empty glasses. So the correct answer is 10. Is this clear? Most of you have given the answers. Good. Any doubts in this? All right. Move to the next one then. Here, you're given a perspective view of a cat, of a view which shows a cat which is sitting on a boundary wall of a house. What you have to identify is from this cat's perspective, how will the house appear to that particular cat from the given options? From these given options, how will this cat appear? How will the house will look to the cat from its perspective, not from the front, but from the cat's perspective. Kavya, wrong answer. One second, a lot of people answer. Shrujal, Mokshil, Shimol, Trisha, correct answer. Palak, correct answer. Manush, correct answer, sorry. Tanvi, Anshi, Riya, Yana, Kavya, wrong answer. Aditya, Twisha, Vishwa, correct answer. Sanchi, Meera, wrong answers. Darsh, correct answer. Diya, Tisha, Vija, Yesha, correct answer. Ashvi, Vaibhavi, wrong answer. Anshi, correct answer. Great. Most of you have answered it correctly. Now, how do I determine the position of the cat with reference to the house? What I do is, wherever the cat is sitting, I'll drop this line down. When I take this here, what I find is the cat position is literally exactly in that middle ridge, in that middle part, this part, in the middle part of the house. Okay. What it means is कि D में जैसा position दिखाई दे रहा है आपको, the position that is seen in the option D, where the middle part is seen, that middle part, which is this surface, जो ये वाला जो surface है, sorry, ये वाला जो surface है, जो D में दिखाई दे रहा है, वो नहीं दिखेगा आपको, because the cat is sitting exactly on that, in that position. So option D is wrong, literally. With case of, I'll just erase this one. Yeah. When it comes to other options, A, B, and C, what happens is, if you see this line, let me draw it with a different color. If you see this line and this line, they both are at, they both are at different levels. मतलब यहाँ से ये line का distance कम है और यहाँ से ये line का distance ज़्यादा है. What it means is, when you see it from the position of the cat, there will be some difference. The level of the ground won't be the same. जैसे A और B में level of the ground same दिख रहा है, वो same नहीं दिखेगा from the cat's perspective, because it is looking in some perspective. So this edge and this edge, because there is a difference, there's a level, there's a distance difference between from the wall, there will be some kind of a I won't say distortion, but some edge like this, which is seen in option C, will be seen. Moreover, besides that, if you look at option B, the top part, ये ridge और ये वाला ridge आपका same है, which is not the case. They both are not of the same height. The roofs of both the parts are different. So option B anyways गलत हो जाता है आपका. Option A में the issue is the ridge difference is also lot. It's literally half, which is also not the case. ये जो height है pitch का आपका, this is a pitch height. That pitch height is not half between the two roofs. So option A that way also gets negated. So the correct answer is option C. Just by the look of the ground itself, I can say that option C is correct. But if you are still confused, like if you still doubt while you are answering this kind of question, just look at the other options, such as this roof part also, which will tell you that the correct answer will be option C. And is that clear? Any doubts? Any questions anybody has? All right, move to the next one then. Here, आपको एक graphic दिया है, which is gradually transforming. So from this dot, small dot, the dots are getting bigger, more bigger, even bigger, bigger, bigger. and then they are transformed into some graphic, some very coarse graphic like this. Now when the still when once this drawing. Pratik, te kijk login કર્યું છે? Pratik, te login કર્યું છે? So I'm just logged out. I don't know why. Hello, am I visible? Am I audible right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, there's some glitch which happened suddenly. Yeah, so there is this graphic which is gradually where the dots of the graphic are gradually becoming bigger and bigger, and they still become bigger to form a coarse graphic like this. From that to a, there's an in between question mark which you have to find, okay, which of the option will come here, and it becomes coarser and coarser and coarser. Can somebody please turn off their audio, please? Meera, please mute yourself. Yeah, thank you. So it becomes actually coarse, and then at some point in time, the white part also starts appearing up. Where the intersection of the black part they happen, the white dots again start happening, and then eventually the graphic becomes something like this. So what you have to find is what will this graphic be, which is in between this part and this part. You just see, you have to first, in this kind of question, you have to first find what is the logic which is happening. The logic that is happening is that the dots are getting, the black dots are getting bigger and bigger, and at some point in time they become further bigger, and the black becomes the white. It's at one point in time, wherever the intersection starts happening, it becomes more whiter. So what you have to find is कि ideally logic आप एक बार क्वेश्चन समझ गए, उसके बाद आपको सिर्फ first और last image देखना है. The middle part you'll automatically find. So whichever graphic fits the middle part between these two will be the correct one, which means iska jo white wala, I know you are answering, just give me 5 minutes. I'll tell you who has answered correctly. Iska jo white wala dots hai, that dot should be from the options, that dot should be exactly the middle position, middle size between these two dots. Okay. And yeah, one second. Mokshil, Aditya, Manush, Shimoli, Tisha, Shimol, Tisha, Rishabh, Tanvi, Naisha. Correct answers. Vaibhavi, wrong answer. Meera, Manya, correct answer. Kavya, wrong answer. Vishwa, Yesha, Sanchi, correct answer. Ria, wrong answer. Palak, correct answer. In this case, the correct answer is option A. All I have to do is to do nothing but just look at the size. The size should be middle part between this white and this white, which is happening only in one case, which is option A, because option B looks very similar to the size that I see in the second part graphic, which is this one. ये वाला जो ग्राफिक है और ये वाला जो ग्राफिक है उसका जो व्हाइट डॉट है इट्स सिमिलर, सो इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल कि बी हो. ऑप्शन सी माइट फिट इन सम ग्राफिक हियर, सो ऑप्शन सी भी गलत है. ऑप्शन डी माइट अगेन फिट इन दिस पार्ट, समवेयर इन दिस पार्ट देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी, सो ऑप्शन डी भी गलत आएगा आपका. And then at the end, I'm left just by looking at the size of this part. I'm left with option A, which is the correct answer. Is that clear? Any doubts? Any questions? Okay, sure. We'll move to the next one then. Yeah, you're given a font here. There's this word or a name, sorry, there's a name written here in Gujarati, and that name is belonging to a family of font. So, like family of font, matlab, jaise, in Word you have Calibri, Arial, Times New Roman. They are all font families, and they're font styles basically. So this particular name is written in one of the font style. What you have to find is which of the, I mean, you're given another letter in the options. You have to find which letter belongs to this particular font family. Now, let me tell you, many a times, even Malayalam or Telugu language is also given. Here it is Gujarati, but many a times Malayalam or Telugu or even this Haryanvi, even all those languages can also be given in these kind of questions, which are font related. So it does not mean that you have to have an understanding of the font of all sorts of languages, but what it means that you have to carefully observe certain attributes, certain qualities that the fonts have. So what I will start in font, there are certain things which you could, I will just tell you what things you should look at. First, you should look at the thickness. The thickness of the letters is the first thing that you should look at. In this case, in this name, the thickness of the letter is uniform. Sorry, the thickness of the font is uniform. This thickness is uniform across all the letters. It's not changing, because in many cases like Times New Roman, it becomes thin and then thick and then again thin, which is not the case happening here. Isme sabke thickness same hai. Then the next thing that you should look at is the end. This end. This end. How it ends, how the letter culminates. In many cases, the end happens like this. In many cases, the end happens like this. In many cases, the end happens like how you see a Times New Roman font like that. In this case, the end is very bland. It's very simple. And if you look at it, the angle is consistent. Ye wala jo angle hai, ye wala angle hai, ya ye wala angle hai, that angle is same everywhere. What it means ke iska jo bhi letter aayega, R ya R wala letter, that letter will end at this angle. That angle is happening in option C and in option D. In both the cases, if you see, the angle is roughly similar, C or D. B ka jo ye wala angle hai, या A का ये वाला एंगल है, it's wrong because it's vertical. इसमें वो एंगल पे culminate हो रहा है. So I will say A और B दोनों options गलत है, irrespective of the thickness being same across. Okay. Then I say C or D में से which is the correct one. For C or D, I will look at this part, the knot, and the knot that this first letter have. If I look at that knot in C and D and compare it with the knot which is happening in this part, I will say option C is correct, option D ka galat. Okay. In the fonts, please remember, first look at the thickness. If the thickness is remaining uniform or it is changing within the letter itself from thin to thick, and the second part should be how it ends, how the letter ends like this. The third part that you should be looking at, if there is a knot like this happening, then you should look at if the existing spelling that is given to you has that knot or not. Okay. Option C does not have different thickness, by the way, it's same. ये thickness similar है. यहाँ पे वो change हो सकता है. The place where this knot is happening, there's a possibility that it might change. The knot which is happening in na is very different than this. So I can give that benefit of doubt here, Manya. So it is okay. Because iska, 1 second, let me draw it. ये र का जो knot है ना, वो ऐसा आता है. Versus n का जो knot है, वो ऐसे आता है. So,
ma'am, but it is thinner than the word in the question.
Yeah. Can you just mute yourself? Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, it is thinner, but I cannot look at that. I have to look at it relatively. आप thinner है, पर आप उसका height भी तो देखो. ये height है versus the height of the letters in the main name is different. So if I expand it, तो वो same height thickness का हो सकता है. I have to give that benefit of doubt here. Is that clear, Manya?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, thank you. Any doubts anybody has in this? Most of you has given the correct answer. Very good. Any doubts? Any questions? Okay. Can you please mute yourself, Trisha?
Foreign.
Yeah, this is very simple. It looks complex, but it's actually a very simple one. We'll do it together, don't worry. What it is given is, it gives you a definition of what an interactive space is first. An interactive space is a common space between entities. An interactive space is a common space between entities. It offers scope for communication between those entities. Communication is possible across different entities. For communication to happen, you have to remember that the entities have to face each other. I cannot communicate with somebody with my back facing. Okay, just remember this part. What you're given is, you're given a cluster, you're given a plan of a house with door openings. In this kind of case, you have to assume the door to be the face of the house. Okay, the door is always the face of the house. So you have to literally assume the person standing. Just say, I'll just give an example in this only. If I look at the first option, I mean the upar wala option, option 2, which is here. The face, this person's face, I mean this house's face is looking outside, versus ye sab face hai, they are talking to each other through that common space, which is happening in the middle. Like this. So I'll say option 2 is kind of communicative, but then one person is facing the back. Option 3 में ऐसा होता है कि या सिर्फ 3 लोग ही देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे. In the middle part, which is an interactive space, only 3 people are looking. बाकी सब लोग बाहर देख रहे हैं. ये बाहर देख रहा है, ये बाहर देख रहा है, और ये भी बाहर देख रहा है. Option 4, this looks outside, this looks inside, this looks inside. This kind of that axis is different, but it's still looking at the central part, and then this looks somewhere else only. Option 5, the least interactive. Everybody is looking outside except for the 2 parts here. Option 1, outside, outside, outside. Okay, kind of inside, outside, outside, and outside. In this case, if I ask you which is the least interactive, what will be your option? What will be your answer? Just to this question, which is the least interactive cluster? One, correct, absolutely. Option 1 is the least interactive. What that gives me is option A and B are wrong. Option A and option B are wrong. So it can be either 1, 3 or 1, 5. C says 1, 3, D says 1, 5. Between 3 and 5, in 5 you have two houses which are looking at each other. In 3 you have 3 houses which are looking at each other. So which happens between 3 and 5, which happens to be the second least the second least cluster, which has less interaction. Correct. Option 5. So yeah, option 5 is the second least. Option 1 is the least and option 5 is the second least. That automatically says that C bhi galat hai and option D is the correct one. In this case, let me tell you, you don't have to solve. Wherever sequences are given, you don't have to solve it completely. Never ever sit and solve the whole thing unless and until you are not able to arrive at the answer. In this case, I will look at the option and I will say, okay, which is the least? Which is the between 5, 3 and 1. 5, 3 and 1, which is the least. Option 1 was obviously the least interactive. So I'll say C or D mein se koi ek hoga. Now if I look at option C and D, I have to just look at 3 and 5. So 3 and 5 mein kaun sa hai? Least interactive 5. So that gives me that option D is the correct one. Automatically. I don't know, look at 2. I did look at 2. Nothing wrong, but I did it just to get an idea of whether or not how it is in. I just want to illustrate you basically how interactive 2 is. Okay, yeah, option D. Good, many of you are given already option D. Fantastic. Any doubts, any questions here? All right, we'll move to the next one. This kind of question you would have done in your childhood in terms of finding the differences. You have to find, you're given options. You don't have to literally mark the differences, but you have to find the number of differences that are there in these two figures. Take your time, okay? Be very careful. They're very minute things. Kavya, correct answer. Has anybody tried solving this? One second. Okay, I'm just getting all the messages right now. Sorry. Okay. Manya, Rishabh, Shamul, Shrishti, Yana, Vishwa, Mokshil, Trisha, Ria, Anshi, Tanvi, Tisha, Manush, Vaibhavi, Meera, wrong answer. Anshi, wrong answer. Naishir, wrong answer. Sanchi, Shrujal, correct answer. All right, chalo, let me solve this. Okay, chalo, let's solve this now. Let's start with from left to right. Between the two figures, from left to right, I'm moving, okay? If I look at the guy, his mustache is missing. From this side, now, between them, I mean, now if I start counting all these pieces, the cookies, basket, just mark here and here to be easier. So the mustache, the color of the basket, there is an issue here, there is not much an issue here, there is much of an issue here and here. Then I will go, there's an issue with this pattern and this pattern which is happening here. Then there is an issue here and here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Okay, not much of a problem on the upper part. Then I will look at the other container. The blue container is fine. The black also is fine. This is an issue. This is an issue. There is ladle missing. There is a ladle missing. Anything else? One more thing. There's a knot missing. There's a knot missing. Let me check if I have missed something. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I think that is it. So option C, number 8. So 8 is the correct answer. Any questions or any doubt here? I think I'll just cross-check it once if I've missed out or anything. But no, nothing. I think, yeah, option 8. I mean, 8 differences, option C, sorry. Any questions, any doubts here? I might have jumbled up because I was not able to see the answers together in correcting you, but I hope you're clear what is the correct answer. In this kind of questions, let me tell you, you don't really jump into looking at the whole figure together. Either in this case, because why I went from left to right, in many cases you go from top to bottom, in many figures you go from left to right. In this case, the containers which are kept on the ground, the containers are organized in a left to right pattern. If I look at the containers, they are organized in a circle around the person who is sitting from left to right. That's why to make my task easier, I went from left to right. I didn't went from top to bottom, because if I've gone from top to bottom, it would have created a lot of confusion. So after looking at, first you should do is look at the figure and construct whether it is easier to cross-check each and every item from left to right or from top to bottom. Once you get that answer, then you literally go from one container to other container to other object to other object likewise. Your task will be very easier and it will be solved much faster compared to actually looking at it together. Okay? It's just a small tip. Please remember that. Any doubts, any questions? All right, we'll move to the next one then. So here you're given a graphic which is changing, and its gradation from black to light gray is also happening. What you have to find is of the option A, B, C, D, which will come in the last figure. Very simple. But to just look at the transformation and you have to look at the gradation, both. Just by looking at the gradation, you can guess two options to be either of the two options to be correct. Either. Okay, 1 second. Ashwi, correct answer. Twisha, Vishwa, wrong answer. Twisha, correct answer. Okay. The next second, the second answer that you said was correct. Aditya, correct answer. Tanvi, Rishabh, Kavya, Yesha, Manush, correct answer. Mokshil, Meera, wrong answer. Shimul, correct answer. Vishwa, Riya, correct answer. Palak, Meera, wrong answer. Manya, correct answer. Anshi, correct answer. Diya, correct answer. Ashwi, correct answer. Tisha, Vija, correct answer. Meera, wrong answer. Mokshil, correct answer. Vaibhavi, Sanchi, correct answer. In this case, the correct answer is option C. How? Just by looking at the gradation of A, B, C, D, I will say that A and D are wrong because they are dark. So D ka gradation and this figure ka gradation is similar, and A ka gradation and the third figure gradation is similar, which means the next figure is obviously lighter than A and D. So I say either of B or C is correct. From B and C, how will I say which is correct? What I did was I just took the case of this letter F, and another was, I think, another also, if you want you can check, but for me F gave me. Okay, so from this it went to upper position here, from lower position it came to this position in this figure, from this position it comes to this position in this figure, and then from this position I assumed that this will go on this side. Another thing which I did also, I'll tell you, was also cross-checking it with this letter, kind of an A or B, whatever you guess it. So from this figure, this item goes here, which is this position. And from this position, this item comes here, which is this position. And then from this position, I assume probably it comes here, which is the case. So in option C, both these things are getting followed. So I took that option. I just did that and I found that two of the items rather within the larger graphic were following. So naturally that would be the correct one. Any questions, any doubts anybody wants to ask? All right, we'll move to the next one then. It's time. We have time. Here, you're given maps of states of India. Of all these, one of the option is scaled up or scaled down. You have to guess which is the option which is scaled up or scaled down. One answer is correct. One of the map is scaled up or scaled down. It is either bigger or it is made either bigger or it is made smaller. Which is the state which is disproportionate? Tanvi, Aditya, correct answer. Vishwa, wrong answer. Yesha, correct answer. Vaibhavi, correct answer. Shimoli, Riya, Anshi, Kavya, correct answer. Meera, wrong answer. Vishwa, correct answer. Rishabh, correct answer. Manush, wrong answer. Shrujal, Vija, wrong answer. Meera, correct answer. Darsh, wrong answer. Tisha, Yana, Tisha, right answer. Yana, wrong answer. Sanchi, correct answer. In this case, sorry, can you turn? Yeah, thank you. In this case, if you see the map of the West of the Bengal map, this map is actually, if you look at the overall map, that is much smaller in terms of proportions to Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, or Maharashtra's map. So that's where option D is the one which is scaled up. It is made bigger compared to all the other options. Okay. Any doubts? Any questions? The form is correct. It's just scaled up. It just size is increased. Any doubts? Okay. Shall we move to the next one? Okay. What is given here is an egg is walking. One second. The walking sequence of the egg needs to be, which is the option which shows the correct sequence or a representation of how a human being walks. You're answering. Okay, in this, okay, okay. Thank you so much. I will ask you one question in this case. If you look at the options, yeah. If you look at the options to A, B, C, D, if I just look at the first sequence, the first image of the sequence of walk, 2, 4, 3, 4. It could, what it suggests is the first part should be 2, 3, or 4. In this case, you have to guess, you have to look at is which will come first. Whether the first one will be the option 2, option 3, or option 4. Why will I say the option 4 will be the first one and not the option 2? I'm already saying which is the option, but why will I say option 4 will be the first one and not the option 2? Because option 3 is the middle position. So I cannot say कि 3 पहले आएगा because 3 in between दिखा रहा है position. Option 4 में, if you look at the black outline, it is stagnant. The green outline shows the next sequence. How will the other feet move? Versus black shows what is stagnant. So, how the movement of the other feet will happen when one position is stagnant. That's what it means. So, I obviously know, okay, so I obviously know that option 4, the fourth sequence, the fourth part is going to come first in terms of the walking sequence. So this is going to come first. So 4 will come first. So it can be A galat hai, that way C भी गलत है. 4 के बाद क्या आएगा? 4 के बाद 1 आएगा या 4 के बाद 3 आएगा? How will I decide which will come first, 1 or 3? What is the difference between 1 and 3? If you look at the difference between 1 and 3, it's the position of the black colored leg. In 4, the black colored leg, in 3, the black colored leg is going backward. And the green colored leg is from the back, it's coming in the front. Versus in the one part, the black colored leg is moving ahead. So if I am moving, if I'm walking, will my stagnant feet go at the back or will it come in the front? It will come actually in the back. The stagnant feet, which is on the ground, will come and will go at the back, and the green feet, which is at the back, will come in the front because I'm moving ahead. So by saying that, I will say option 3 will be the, the third figure will be second in sequence. So just by that, I say option B is the one which is the correct one, and option D galat hai. Is that clear? Most of you, I think, most of you are given that as an answer. Few people got confused with option D, which is 4-1. It will be 4-1 and not 4, so it will be 4-3 and not 4-1, because the speed which is stagnant, if you observe while you're walking, okay, first, if you look at it, the speed which is stagnant will move backward, and the feet which is actually moving will move further. So the green part which is shown at the back will actually go ahead, and the black part which is there will take a little bit back position and then move ahead. So in this case, I'm just gauging the first and the second sequence, and I get the answer, which is option B. Is that clear? Any doubts? Any questions? All right, we'll move to the next one now. The very simple one, this one. What you are shown is a black dot is given. A man is riding a horse. You have to find the bone linkage of the horse from the from the red color dot. Beginning with the red color dot, you have to find the bone, sequence of the bone linkages. Kavya, I don't know if you answered. If you answered for this question, it's wrong. Kavya, Manush, Vaibhavi, Shrujal, Yesha, Ashvi, Aditya, Shimul, Mokshil. Okay, most of you have answered it wrong. Okay, no correct answers so far. Okay, before you answer, just look at the bone structure of a horse in your phones. Try doing that. Whoever has said option B, that is wrong. Many of you have said option B, that is wrong. Whoever has said option A, that is the correct one. In the chat box, I got confused between which answer you're given for the last and this one. So that's why there's an issue, but the correct answer is option A. Many of you have said option B, which is wrong. So the bone linkage actually happens like this. Then this. There's one point here. There's one point here. And then there's one point here. Okay. B wala nahi ho sakta hai. There's a kink which is missing in the middle, this part, because of which you get that curved structure of the horse, this curved structure of the horse. All right. Any doubts, any questions? All right, we move to the next one then. This is a very simple one. This is a very, very simple one. I am sorry, Shruja. There was a lot of confusion of before after thing. I'm sorry for if I've said your answer to be wrong. Yeah. So this is a relatively simple question. What it says is the truck is with this pulley system installed There's a load which is there. If this load needs to be lifted to a height of 8 meters, how much distance will this truck have to move forward? You don't have to consider resistance because nothing is given about resistance here. Yesha, Anshi, correct answer. Riya, correct answer. Tanvi, correct answer. Sanchi, correct answer. Jana, Shimoli, correct answer. Rishabh, correct answer. Darsh, correct answer. Trisha, correct answer. Kavya, correct answer. In this case, the correct answer is option A. How much ever is the, because there is no, how should I put it? There is no transformation in the pulley, the size of the pulley also. And there is no interlinkages. I mean, they are interlinked, but not like one small pulley attached to a bigger pulley, and then all those systems are not in place. It's a same uniform pulley system. You don't have to consider the resistance. So how much ever the load needs to be lifted, the truck will move forward that much. All right. Option is, the correct answer is option A, 8 meters, because it needs to be lifted by 8 meters. Many a times these kind of simple questions are also asked. So don't let it throw away, put you off from your game. Simple. I'll take 2 more questions if you're fine. This is again a very simple one. It just looks a little bit complex, but otherwise it's very simple. What you're given is, you're given a front view of a solid object. This is a front view of a solid object. And what you have to assume that is, if the views from all six sides of the object have the same view, how many surfaces does this object have in total? Count the number of surfaces of this object if this object looks exactly like this from all the 6 sides, from top, bottom, side, back, all the sides. It looks exactly like this. It's a symmetrical object. In this case, you don't have to count all the surfaces. Please remember that. Since it is symmetrical object and it looks same on all the sides, all you have to do, I'll just mark it here. All you have to do is count the number of surfaces that are there in just that part. Why? Because this part is getting repeated 6 times. Like here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on top, and 5 and 6 on the bottom. Anshi, wrong answer. Okay, 1 second. Anshi, Kavya, Vishwa, Aditya, Yana, Yesha, wrong answer. You counted these many surfaces? It's surprising, huh? You just have to count the number of surfaces in this part, one part. And then you have to multiply it by 6. Because this part is getting repeated 6 times. Tanvi, correct answer. Wrong answer so far. Tanvi has given correct answer till now. Okay. Chalo, we'll solve this together. I'll go from top to bottom, each part. We'll take each part one at a time. Okay. I will just erase this for time being. It's easier for me to draw. If I look at this top part, is it a cone or a pyramid? sorry, it's a cone or a square pyramid? Can anybody tell me? From the top part, this triangle, if I look at it in plan, this triangle looks something like this. So it's a cone or a pyramid. Square pyramid hai ya cone hai ye? If it is looks like this.
Cone.
The cone, it's not a square pyramid. It's a circle, right? In plan, it's a circle. So ये इसका surface 1 आएगा. उसके नीचे there's a square. So it can be a cuboid, it can be a cube, it can be a cylinder. So from the plan which is seen here, what is it? It's a cylinder, it's a cube, or it's a cuboid?
Cylinder.
The cylinder. So a cylinder has how many surface? One surface, one circular surface. Cone का भी एक circular surface आएगा, which is one. Co-cylinder का भी एक आएगा. The part which is at the bottom, this part, is it a cylinder? It's a hexagonal prism, or it's a triangular prism, or it's a cube? What is it? It's a cube. So a cube will have how many surfaces? 4 surfaces, edges के, and ये जो plan में आपको ऊपर दिख रहा है ये surface, that will be the 5th one. So I'll say 4 plus 1, 5. The bottom part, which is this, what is the form? It's a cube or a cylinder? The bottom part, it's a cube or a cylinder? What is this? What is the last form seen here? It's a cylinder. Good. So it will be one surface of the cylinder, and plan में आपको ये सारे points, let me use a different color. Plan में आपको ये सारे points दिख रहे हैं blue color में mark किए हुए. 1, 2, 3, 4. All those 4 surfaces will also be a part of it. So 1 plus 4. So how many total surfaces were? 1 plus 1, 2, plus 5, 7, plus 5 plus 5, 10, plus 1 plus 1, 2. So 12 surfaces in total. 12 surfaces are there in just one part. Okay. ऐसा एक part is repeated 6 times. So 12 multiplied by 6 will be how much? 72. So the total number of surfaces that this object will have is 72 surfaces. Is that clear? Any questions? In this case, if you look at the elevation, which is the front part, and the plan part, you will find the answer very easily. आपको सिर्फ correlate करना है ऊपर से नीचे. First part जो triangle दिख रहा है वो कैसा है? Is it a cylinder or it's a cone? From this figure I can say it's a cone. Likewise, नीचे जाते जाते you have to start counting the surfaces also which are missed out in plan. जैसे हमने ये वाला edge count किया, हमने वो 4 parts count किए, that also gets added. Okay. Any doubts? Any questions here? Any doubts? Any questions here? Okay, chalo, we'll move to the next one. We'll just take this last. It's very simple. It won't take much time. Okay. This is the last one. It's very simple and it won't take much of your time. That's why. You're given this kind of an illustration where pink and yellow, a lighter tone is formed, and this lighter tone of baby pink and lemon yellow, light lemon yellow, that becomes an orange color. So what you have to find is what will be this figure, what will be this color which will formed here. Correct, correct. Everybody correct. Aditya, Tisha, Vishwa, Manush, Yesha, Tanvi, correct answer. Kavya, correct answer. Shimoli, Twisha, Palak, Shanchi, Manya, Rishabh, Riya, correct answers. Virja, wrong answer. Shrujal, correct answer. In this case, the correct answer is the option D. Very simple. It's blue and black. This will be lighter blue. This will be gray. Combination of gray and blue is this dull color, this dull blue color. I don't know what it is termed as. Okay. There is no pink which is formed here, Virja. There is no pink which is there in this figure, and that's why I won't have pink or red nahi hai ye wale figure mein. So that's why A nahi aayega. Okay. With this, we will end today's session. If you have